become part of the government on the 23rd of September. Thank you.
Speaker.
Dr. David Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have 5 minutes, so I have no choice but to make it brief. Mr. Speaker, think one of the most important things happening in this bill is the obvious bit that's right up front, the annual rates. We are confirming the annual tax rates for New Zealand, and that is an important process that this Parliament does every year, as annual suggests. But the notable thing this time around is that we're in March, and these tax rates are due to expire in June. I suspect by the time this bill gets through the House, it will be April. It may even be an April Fool's joke that we are experiencing as it goes through, Mr. Speaker. It's a bad joke to have the tax rates confirmed this late in the piece. It's shoddy. It's shoddy. 9 months down the track, the tax year is nearly is nearly gone, and it is chaotic. It is chaotic, and it shows that this government really is kind of all over the place when it comes to what goes on in this House, but we also see it in the policy setting. And if we cast our mind back to when these tax rates were first introduced to New Zealand in 2010, we remember that they involved a switch around of the tax system where over 40% of the benefit of the tax package, the tax cuts that were given, went to the wealthiest 10% of New Zealanders. And the bottom 20% in that 2010 tax package got just 2% of the value of those tax cuts in 2010. And the Prime Minister of the day introduced a great big GST increase that swallowed up all of the benefit for those lower income earners who thought they were getting a tax cut in that 2010 package. Mr. Speaker, that in itself broke a promise that the Prime Minister had made. He said he would not increase GST, but he did. So there was some level of deception, I suppose is the kind way of putting it, in that particular tax package. And that is the tax package which is carried through to today. The point I would want to make around that, Mr. Speaker, is that this government has borrowed to fund that tax package which gave the very wealthiest New Zealanders, those in the top 10%, over 40% of the value of that tax package. This is a government that has borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and borrowed to fund tax cuts for the very wealthiest New Zealanders. And I think that that gives us all here pause for thought. That shows the priorities of this government. And they have borrowed now, they have debt now of $80 billion. This is the biggest borrowing government in New Zealand history, standing opposite us here in this Parliament. This National Party has borrowed more than Muldoon's government borrowed, Mr. Speaker, and they've done that to fund these tax cuts that were put through in 2010, and we are affirming these rates here today in the bill, which I have in my hand here. Part 1, page 21 of the copy here, says that we affirm these tax rates yet again, Mr. Speaker, and they are there in a way that ensures that those that were the very wealthiest got the biggest tax cut. Now, Mr. Speaker, it may well be that now they are the right tax package. You know, for now we have people who are gaining from the particular tax package that we have. But, Mr. Speaker, in the meantime, health services have been cut. $1.7 billion in health services have been cut. And then they've just been borrowing to afford this particular tax package that we've got now for those wealthiest New Zealanders. And that doesn't seem right to me, Mr. Speaker. That doesn't seem right to me at all. Now, we will support on this side of the House this tax bill going through because it does tidy a few things up. And we believe that a tax system should be fair and tidy without too many loopholes in it. That is what we believe on this side of the House. We want a fair tax system where everybody pays their fair share. Look, we think it could be better. We think it could be fairer. We think the tax system in New Zealand needs a thorough review, an absolutely thorough review, not the kind of piecemeal approach you get with these bills that the government is putting through, which has, you know, this minor change here, closing this look-through rule here, and so on. I suspect part of it's because they've taken so long to upgrade the IT system. In 2012, the then Prime Minister of that government said it'd be a shame if we couldn't put policy through because we've got outdated tax package to run it. Well, that tax package is still in place. So I suspect that's part of what's holding them back. But I think they're just out of ideas. Mr Speaker, and that is why we're seeing this particular piecemeal tax package and affirming again that tax package which included borrowing to fund tax cuts for the very wealthiest New Zealanders.
The Honourable Craig Foss.